The oil spill by BP has left our balls all. Swim in the ocean, you'll have all this. Go ahead!
What's up? Boochcast fans, listeners across the internet, radio waves. This is Vinny Bucci, aka the Booch, and this is that time again, once again, yet again for the Boochcast. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, December 5th, 2016. It is high noon, and I know we once again had a bit of a late start to the show today, but of course, that is because once again, the internet crapped out on me. I'm assuming it's because of the bad weather that we've had over the last couple of days. Either that or my brother's doing something that is constantly causing the internet to crap out. I don't know what it is, but if it is his fault, I may have to go straighten his ass out. But hopefully that's not the case. All right. Today's show. Very excited. We got a lot to cover today on the show. Of course, we're going to be talking about the TLC pay-per-view, tables, ladders, and chairs, which was definitely pay-per-view that started strong, kind of sucked in the middle, but ended in a shocking way. So I definitely look forward to chatting about that today on the show. And, of course, we've got plenty of other stories and shenanigans that we're going to get into today. So I'll start the show off the way I always do on Monday. Little weekend recap here. Basically, the first thing I was doing all weekend long was I have been in video editing central, pretty much. This past Wednesday, I performed at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, which I mentioned on a Friday show. I had a show at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, did a hell of a job. I'm also happy to announce that this coming Wednesday, I will be back at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I'm very excited for it. There's going to be a variety of people playing on this show. Let me just pull the flyer here in a minute. I know it was posted recently. Yep, here it is. And there is a plethora of great talent that are going to be a part of this show. We've got Landon Laverius, Benny Pitts, Bighorn, and Cornelius George. They will all be on the show with me. And the show will be hosted by an Atlanta comedy favorite, Angela Miller. Yes, Angela, as you guys know, was also a former guest of the Boochcast. So it'll definitely be fun to be working a show with her again as we perform at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, which is located at, as soon as I get it up here. Oh, that's weird. The address should be there. Let me see what I got here. You'll have to forgive me, guys. Like I said, we've been dealing with internet shit, so things are moving kind of slow here. Okay. The show will be at 4650 Jimmy Carter Boulevard, Norcross, Georgia, 30093. So I'll be performing at the Atlanta Comedy Theater this coming Wednesday. And as I mentioned before, we got it's at 4650 Jimmy Carter Boulevard, Norcross, Georgia, 30093. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, there is free admission to the show. But the only way to get in for free is to be on the guest list. So what you do is you can message me at the Boochcast Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/the Boochcast, TheBoochcast. Make sure you go there, send me a message. Also, you can go to facebook.com/Vince Bucci, BinceBucci. That's my personal Facebook account. You can go there, send me a message, let me know that you're coming to the show, and I will put your name down on a guest list. And it has to be your government name. Don't give me some kind of character name that you have, because they're not going to know. Whatever name appears on your driver's license, send me that name. And I will send it to the club, and you will get free access, and you have a chance to come out and check out an amazing comedy show. The show will start at 8 p.m., I believe 8:30, sorry. Show starts at 8:30. And, of course, you'll get a chance to see a lot of great comics. And, of course, it is the second round of the auditions for the Atlanta Comedy Winter Festival, for the Winter Comedy Festival that will be taking place in 2 weeks. It'll be December 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd. So the 3 days before Christmas is when the big Winter Comedy Festival will be taking place. And this is your chance to come out, show your support, and help me get into the Winter Comedy Festival. So I look forward to seeing you all there. And so anyway, after the show I did this past Wednesday, as I basically was recording my set because I was hoping to get a good piece of comedy footage to send to the World Series of Comedy. Unfortunately, while the set was good, it was not good enough to submit to a comedy festival. So my video pretty much went kaput. But due to some issues, for example, in the lineup, originally, as I mentioned before, I was supposed to go on after this one guy whose name I can't remember. So I set my recorder. However, Kiana Dancy, who was supposed to host the second show, finally showed up to the club because we were wondering where she was all night. Finally, she showed up, so she ended up going on before me, which is fine. I didn't have a problem with that, but I already hit the recorder on my camcorder, so I just let it go. I let it record her set, and then when I went on stage, I let it record my set. Then, as I was coming off the stage, I was talking to some people in the back, and my recorder was still going. So I ran out, got around. I was about to shut the recorder off, but the guy, Terry King, that was on stage said, no, you can keep rolling. I'm like, okay. So I just kept it rolling. I turned it back on, let it keep rolling. And then after the show, he came to me and said he wanted a copy of his set. Then Kiana told me she wanted a copy of her set. And then T-Bone, the guy I met at the club, who I'm been talking to, and we're thinking about collaborating on some stuff in the future. He asked me to tape his set, which I did. I went out there, taped his set. So I basically spent all of Friday, like mostly all of Friday, editing these videos. I was up till 3 a.m. editing these videos, putting them all together, doing all this work. It was strenuous, mostly because of the fact that the Windows Movie Maker kept freezing up on me. So it would take forever to play a clip. It would take forever to trim something. It was stressful. Then when I was finally able to save the data, put it in the Dropbox, email it out to everybody, I was pretty much just like unconscious. Like, thank God this is over. So I had to edit 3 different videos, put them all together. Not all together, but send them out to the right people. And like I said, that took hours of my time. So, because that was a lot of work that I had to do. So I pretty much was editing videos. Then after that, I spent most of my time binge watching Supernatural. Once again, I am on the Supernatural grind. And when it comes to Supernatural, I found out something interesting about the show that I didn't quite know before. And what that is that when Supernatural airs, it usually airs in October, and then after December, they take off until like either the middle or end of January before they air the next episode. So this week they're airing episode 8 of season 12. Well, then after that, season 12 won't air again till about January. In fact, they're not even listing any more episodes after episode 8, which means that there's going to be a little bit of time before we see the next episode. And all I can say is I'm very, very grateful for this gap, because this is going to help me out a lot. Because my goal now is to be all caught up by that moment before episode 9 airs. Now, I'm happy to announce that over the weekend, I finished season 6, and I'm about halfway through season 7 right now. So in terms of Supernatural, I have now set a goal for myself. And here are the goals. My goal is I will be finished with season 7 by the end of this week. That is my goal. And the reason I set that goal by the end of the week is because I have a lot of stuff going on in the coming days and weeks. So I know those are going to be things that will hinder me from watching the show fully. So my goal is by the end of this week to be done with season 7. Then next week, which will be the last week of the Boochcast for 2016, my goal is by the end of next week to be done with season 8. And then the week after that, the week after that, be done with season 9. And then the week after that, be done with season 10. And then be done with season 11. And then by the time the Boochcast returns in January, I will have seen all 11 seasons of Supernatural that are currently on Netflix. So my goal is to finish those 11 seasons before the Boochcast so we can talk about them on the air. Desmond and I. We're going to be having a discussion of Supernatural on the Boochcast, because obviously we're not going to talk about season 12 because that's still in effect. But my goal with season 12 is to be done with those 8 episodes before episode 9 airs at whatever time in January. That way, I can start watching Supernatural on a weekly basis on television the way I do with Arrow and Gotham. So that's what I'm trying to do with Supernatural. I want to be all caught up so that when people start talking, so if I get into a group of friends and they're talking about season 12, I can join in on the conversation. That's my ultimate goal at this juncture. So anyway, that's where I'm at with Supernatural. I'm about halfway through season 7. And like I said, I'm on this goal to finish it. And then after that, my goal will be to catch up on some other shows that I haven't been watching yet. For example, I know this coming Friday, season 2 of Fuller House is going to be on Netflix. Season 2 is finally coming. So once I finish Supernatural, that's going to be the next show I watch. So I'm sure Desmond will try to recommend another show for me, but after Supernatural, I'm going to take a break from Desmond's suggestions. Like, Desmond can give me a suggestion, but I'll just write it down, and I'm going to take a break from his suggestions and get the ones that I want done For example, I'm going to watch season 2 of Fuller House because I've mentioned this before with the Netflix shows. Out of all the shows that I've been binge watching like crazy, there's only 3 that I've watched that are Netflix original shows and are still ongoing. And that is F is for Family, Fuller House, and Daredevil. So if a new season of any of those comes out, then whatever I'm binge watching on Netflix, boom, I go to the next one. They automatically skip to the next part in line. So the next show I'll be watching is Fuller House Season 2. And then, of course, when I'm done with that, we'll talk about that here on the show. I'm also planning on finishing up The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which, as you guys know, they've only aired 20 episodes of that on Netflix. The rest of them are on YouTube. So I've been gradually watching, the other episodes on YouTube. And recently I've been kind of working them in on days that I can't get to Supernatural. So I'm kind of trying to, simultaneously finish that as well. And I think where I'm at now is I'm on episode 58. That's where I'm at now. I am on episode 58 out of 66. So I'm almost done with Sonic the Hedgehog. And then we'll talk about that on the show as a little throwback. And then after that, I'm going to go to the one that I was working on before Desmond threw this Supernatural challenge to me. And that is the rest of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. So those are going to be the Netflix shows that I'm going to work with. And then after that, if Desmond wants to throw another suggestion my way, then we'll work with that. If not, then I'll move on to something else. But in terms of Netflix, that's where I'm going to be at, and that's what I plan on doing. So pretty much that was my – and then, of course, on Sunday was the TLC pay-per-view. I went over to Frank's house, and me, Frank, and Zach, we were watching the pay-per-view at his house while at the same time competing in our prediction competition. And of course, dealing with, live chatting on Facebook, Twitter, even took a couple phone calls, which I did that once, but I'm not going to do it again. Like, that's a new rule I'm going to make with pay-per-views, is that the only way people are going to be able to communicate with me is through social media and texting. I will not allow phone calls during a pay-per-view. So I will not be taking calls during a pay-per-view. Now, if you want to call in, you can call into the Boochcast the next day and share your thoughts, or you can communicate with me through social media. But after that, I'm not going to take calls after that. But other than that, we cool. Other than that, everything's cool. But there was one issue that I had with a certain someone on Facebook. I'm not going to say his name, but apparently he had an issue with my results posting. As you guys know, that's what I do. I post the results during the show, and I usually get comments and live chat with people, and a couple people weren't happy that I did that. In fact, one person actually said that I was giving them spoilers and they hadn't seen the pay-per-view yet. Well, first of all, if you haven't seen the pay-per-view yet, that's not my fucking problem, okay? First of all. Second of all, let me explain this to anyone that has an issue, because this is a recent issue I've been coming across. That's why I'm addressing this. You know how long I've been doing the live chat thing on the internet? You know how long? About 5 years. I started in 2011 when I started getting really, really popular on the Regular Guys show. I've been doing that for 5 years. I have a fan base that is committed to tuning in to my Facebook and Twitter just to know what's going on. Because some of these people don't have the WWE Network. Even back before that, when it was just pay-per-view, people relied heavily on that for results. I have a fan base. I am not going to let that fan base down because you can't handle spoilers. And this is just things in general. with people who don't like spoilers. My advice to you is this. If you don't like spoilers, whether it's wrestling spoilers, movie spoilers, TV spoilers, if you don't like spoilers, get rid of your internet. That's the best advice I can give you. I know that sounds harsh, because today it's almost impossible to get people to go a long time without internet. I know I'm one of those people. Take away my TV, take away my PS4, let me keep my internet. I need the internet. But here's the thing. I don't give a fiddler's fuck about spoilers. I don't. If anything, spoilers make me enjoy something more. It really does. It takes away the bullshit suspense, and I can just enjoy what I'm watching. I don't care if someone gives away an ending to me. I don't give a shit. I'm still going to think it's cool if it's delivered right. That's just how I am. I don't give a shit. Spoilers don't hurt me because I'm not a pussy. Simple as that. Like, if you're that whiny about spoilers, then either watch it at the time it actually airs, or don't talk to people. Don't check your Facebook. And I'm going to tell you right now, my advice to anyone out there that's friends with me on Facebook, if you don't like spoilers of pay-per-views, here's the advice I'm going to give you. Unfollow me. Don't unfriend me. Don't unfriend me unless you really want to, but no one's telling you you have to do that. I'm saying unfollow, not friend, follow. Unfollow me on the day of the pay-per-view. That way, you won't see my Facebook posts. Then, after you watch the pay-per-view, follow me again. I'll take you back. Follow me again. Do that. And I'm not saying unfriend me, because I'm not one of those asshole people that tells people to unfriend them if they don't agree with me. Now, of course, there may be some grounds where I might unfriend a person. I've only had to do it like a few times. But I haven't unfriended a lot of people, but I've unfollowed quite a few. Mostly because they post political shit and I disagree with them completely. And it's filled with a lot of ignorance, and it's not even a point where I can argue it. So I just unfollow people because I'm tired of seeing it. Excessive political posts. But my point is, I'm sick and tired of people who whine and complain over spoilers. Newsflash. That's what the internet does. It spoils shit. Okay? That's what the internet does. It's practically what the internet is for. So if I don't post something on a pay-per-view, I promise you somebody else on Facebook will. You've got a Facebook friend somewhere that's going to post this shit. So don't give me shit. If it bothers you that much, unfollow me the day of the pay-per-view, then follow me back after you watch it. Because I'm not stopping. You understand? That's what I do. Okay? And same thing with movies. It's like, I don't want people to tell me the end of the movie. Then here's an advice. Don't call your friends and go watch the fucking movie. Best advice I'm going to give you. Because after a certain period of time, if you don't watch a movie or a pay-per-view, then you ain't then you might as well just shut the hell up, is my opinion. You know, my advice is don't talk to people, because that's what the internet's going to do. And I'm fed up with this guy's like whining and complaining because I'm doing all these. He goes, once again, you spoiled the pay-per-view for me. Well, then unfollow me, you fucking prick. I don't give a shit. I have a fan base that depends on me. I'm not letting my fans down because you can't handle spoilers because you're a whiny little bitch. And I'm sorry. That's how I feel. If you're someone who's bothered by spoilers, you're a whiny little bitch. Okay? Put on your adult clothes. Man the fuck up. My answer. All right. Now, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, after the pay-per-view was over, of course, I went home. I had to drop Zach off. Oh, boy. Which is a journey nobody wants to go on. And then I went home, basically passed out, and I'd say that was my weekend. All right, folks. Well, coming up today here on the Boochcast, we're going to be talking about TLC and a lot to talk about. But before we get to the pay-per-view, before I get to Gator, there's one quick important thing that I need to do. As you guys know, on Friday, Gator and I achieved an impossible feat. What we thought was an impossible feat. We managed to recap an entire week of wrestling in one show. However, we did end up going into an hour of overtime. So instead of a 3-hour show, we had a 4-hour show, but we managed to get it done. We were deciding whether or not to stop at some point or move on to and do another show on Saturday, but Gator said, fuck it, let's go. So we said, fuck it, let's go. So that's why the show was 4 hours instead of 3. We said, we're going to knock all this shit out of the park, get it all done now so that we can, come in on Monday and talk about some fresh shit. So in order for me to do that, while recapping TNA, I was not able to get to my TNA clips. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play those 3 clips. Once they're done, I'm going to cut to Gator. We'll see what's going on in the world of Gator, and then we'll recap TLC. So I'm just going to say what they are in order, and I'm just going to play them all the way through. I'm not going to stop and share thoughts. The first one is the segments involving the Broken Hardys for the day. The Broken Hardys and the DCC. Then we got EC3 calling out Eddie Edwards. And then the infamous moment with Maria, Laurel Van Ness, and Allie. One that you actually are going to enjoy. So sit tight, check out these clips, and we'll be right back.
That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I know Matt's prepared himself in his own way for tonight. Us as a team have never prepared this way. I haven't spoke to Matt, but I know for sure he's going to be here. After his mind was broken even more and his head so confused, I'm not sure how he's going to be. I'm not sure how he's going to act. I'm not sure what Matt Hardy we're going to see tonight. But I know one thing. We're going to defend the World Tag Team titles, and that's a fact. It's like deja vu, something I've seen before. 2, 1. Last Thursday night was Thanksgiving, and in the main event of Impact on Top, Jeff Hardy competes against Graham in a no disqualification match. And the other members of the DCC, Kingston and James Storm, not only worked at ringside, they got involved in the match. They got inside the ring. They did whatever they wanted. And in the end, it was the last call from James Storm and the brighter side of suffering from Graham. Jeff Hardy was defeated by the DCC. We are the DCC. We represent the people that have been trampled on. We represent the people that have been passed by, who have never really been given an opportunity. You say these masks are not here to hide our faces, but to show we are not afraid to take a stand. We are not here to delete anyone. We are not here to make anyone obsolete. But heart, you found out when you stand in our way, and the DCC have been targeting the World Tag Team Champions. They have been targeting Broken Matt and Brother Nero, Matt and Jeff Hardy. The World Tag Team titles draped around his shoulders. Here is Jeff Hardy. I'd say, I don't know how Jeff Hardy is walking after what we saw last week, but this man is not a human. Yeah, but the question is, Josh, where is Broken Matt? That's the real question here. Almost as if we see two sides. Last time it was Jeff Hardy, but this is Broken Nero. Well, we heard from Jeff Hardy at the beginning of the show, he was asked about where his brother Matt has been and where he is tonight. We've seen Jeff alone now for the past several weeks.
You people think you're a virus. You think you're spreading. You want our titles. The Hardys are the World Tag Team Champions. And you're gonna get your little title match tonight. And it's all good because you're fighting two men who survived the Great War. You're going to fight two men who took part in the final deletion and got stronger. The final deletion. The final deletion transformed me obsolete, but my fate, I'm at one with it. Your fate is way worse than obsolete. Your fate, your movement ends with the push of one button. Delete! Delete!
That's funny. That's cute. Where's Matt, partner? Oh, and Jeff Hardy with a big shot that kicks it and a twist of face. Jeff Hardy said the DCC will be their chance. Their match for the World Tag Team titles. Don't worry about it. And now the DCC taking advantage of the 2-on-1 on Jeff Hardy. Oh, how powerful that was by Jeff Hardy. And there's a move to the back of the head. Almost like a preemptive strike for Jeff Hardy to take out Kingston. But he forgot about James Storm and Graham. And look at what these two men are doing to Jeff Hardy right now. Here come the calling card of the DCC. The tag team titles of the world belong to my Broken Brilliance and Brother Nero. Oh, and do not fret. My memories have been restored. Even
more vivid than ever. DCC, tonight you get the fight that you so desire for the tag team titles of the world against us. And I changed what the acronym DCC stands for, because as of now, it stands for Deletion Coming Cowards. As we delete.
Strong words from both the Hardys and the DCC, and still to come tonight on Impact. The World Tag Team titles hang in the balance as Matt and Jeff Hardy defend their titles against the DCC. Takes place tonight on Impact. Yep. That's me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very kind reception. Young lady, your side's upside down. Yes, sir. Atta girl. Nah, but that supported me a lot. This kind of year I had, because at Bound for Glory, I suffered the biggest defeat of my career. But here I stand once again, your perennial #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. Now I've said a lot of words in my time here in Impact Wrestling. I'll probably say a lot more, but I do have a couple words for our current heavyweight champion, Eddie Edwards. So if you'll join me in this ring, I'd love to share some words. Eddie Edwards has had a great reign as world champion. What a way to end the year for Eddie Edwards. He knows he's going to have to face EC3. What a collision that's going to be when they go one-on-one. The World Championship. One of the biggest tests to date after being a World Heavyweight Champion. Look at us, Eddie. Eddie, you are having an incredible run as champion, and I can't help but just commend you on your victory, especially against Bobby Lashley, because at Bound for Glory, I went against Bobby Lashley. Man, I brought a broadsword, and I was swinging it to high heavens, but I failed. But you brought a dagger, and you stabbed that beast right in the heart. Yeah! And here you stand, World Heavyweight Champion. A championship that's really is kind of changing people's perception of you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This title has changed the way a lot of people look at me. But you know, I know, I haven't changed. I'm the same dude. I'm the same guy that goes out with you and parties after shows. That's for damn sure. I'm still the guy that comes out into this ring and leaves everything I have each and every time, no matter what. And that's why people love you. That's why this industry respects you so much. But friendship aside, we're competitors. I failed to capture the World Heavyweight title twice this year. I assure you, I won't fail a third time. That's what I want. Honcho, that's what I want. Bring that fight. Bring that emotion. Bring that fire at Bound for Glory. You were so close. So close to winning this title once again. But it wasn't your night. And now, I am the one holding this world title. And you should know like I know, it's going to take somebody truly special to take this from me, because it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your family name is. All that matters is who is holding this world title. You're missing the point. When I stand in this ring, my family doesn't matter. My friends don't matter. The only thing that matters is that the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now you need a lesson from me. Hear me loud, hear me clear. There's a difference between winning the championship and maintaining your status as champion. That takes a different mentality. That takes a different set of skills. Now, Eddie, I referenced the dagger. I have one myself. And it's a dagger. I'm not afraid to stab a friend in the back to get what I want. I'm not afraid to slit a throat to get what I want. I'm not afraid, Eddie, to do what is necessary. I leave you with this. Kill them all and let God sort them out. That is a champion's mentality. And next week, the World Championship hangs in the balance. Is EC3 in the right headspace to become champion? Can Eddie retain?
It is the holiday season, and I am a very charitable person. I have given so much to everyone here. I have given you a role model. But some people don't seem to appreciate that. Hey, get out here right now.
What sort of public humiliation will Maria have lined up for Allie? Allie's kind of know what's coming here. Love the Impact Zone. Not only the Impact Zone, everywhere. Hope that is it. Even Allie is going on me. You know, I mean, look at him. How could you hate him? Innocent little kitty house. Feel bad for her right now because you just don't know what Maria's doing.
No, you don't! No, you don't! No, you don't! You do not love Allie! Nobody loves Allie! Allie, what do you have to say for yourself? Well, Miss Maria, I do have to say, I'm sorry that I hit you in the face with a pumpkin pie last week. Oh, I know! You were trying to hit me in the face with a pumpkin pie. I know you were trying to hit Laurel. You were trying to hit Laurel because you're jealous of her relationship with Braxton. I'm not jealous of Laurel. That's not true, Miss Maria. No, I'm not. I've got a few questions for you. Why did you lie and bow for glory and tell everybody that my hand was okay? Miss Maria, I believe that honesty is the best policy. Oh, you want some honesty? Honestly, you are the worst assistant I have ever had. I have never had a problem with anybody else. Laurel and I, we get along just fine. I have a question, Maria. I have a question. Allie, how do you feel knowing that Braxton and I went on a hot date last night? Huh? Yeah, that's right. How do you feel knowing that we danced all night and whispered sweet nothings into each other's ears? Huh? You want to know what he said to me? You want to know? Braxton would never say that! You calling me a liar? Yeah. You calling me a liar? No. She's a loser. She doesn't know how to fight. She doesn't know how to do anything right. She messes up everything. She's not a wrestler. She's just a stupid bitch.
Oh, Maria crossed the line. And Allie with a slap that's been coming for months.
Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
And Laurel. Blindside Allie. As the cliche goes, don't fight the hand that feeds. But Maria's abuse went too far tonight. Maria's verbal attacks on Allie went too far, and Allie had enough. And it was to slap her around the world. From Allie to Maria. But it's just the end of Allie in Impact.
Hello, and welcome back to the Boochcast. Obviously, during the break, we played those 3 clips from TNA, and I think it's safe to say that they were very beneficial in doing what needed to be done. And ultimately, what needed to be done was, show you guys, give you guys the glimpse of what happened. So basically, that was what went down. The Broken Hardys, Matt Hardy came back, had a hell of a clip, had a hell of a time. He basically was, his Broken Brilliance is back. They went on to successfully defend the tag belts against the DCC. And obviously, I think this is a long-standing rivalry that's going to last for quite a while. And I could see it potentially ending with DCC eventually getting the tag team titles. And it's going to be Eddie Kingston and Bram that gets them. And then hopefully after that, James Storm can focus on the world title, whether he takes it from EC3 or Eddie Edwards, depending on what happens this week. Because as we now know, EC3 and Eddie Edwards will face off this coming Thursday on Impact Wrestling for the TNA World Heavyweight title. All I can say is, I hope Eddie Edwards wins because I am fed up with EC3. And I'm hoping after EC3 loses this match, EC3 never challenges for the TNA World title again for a very long time. I think it's goddamn ridiculous that EC3 has been champion this long. I think it's ridiculous. I don't understand why EC3 has been in the title hunt so much. Half of this season of TNA, ever since it came on Pop TV, has practically revolved around EC3 either being the champion or fighting for the championship. And it's just getting more and more goddamn ridiculous. It really is. And with only a few weeks to go before we get to what potentially could be the end of TNA for the year, because I think that the 15th is supposed to be the last episode, and I think that's where we're supposed to have total nonstop deletion at the Hardy compound, which is supposed to involve tag team Apocalypto, which is supposed to include tag teams invited from everywhere to wrestle. And also, Matt Hardy has said that if the Young Bucks come down, he'll make an appearance in Ring of Honor. And if WWE, if Vince McMahon's able to allow the New Day to go down there, then Matt Hardy will make an appearance as Broken Matt in WWE. So In my opinion, it's a great deal, and I think both companies should take it. I think it's a potential for great expansion. I would go as far as to say, if you can get a team from Lucha Underground to show up, have Broken Matt appear in Lucha Underground. Maybe he can do a taping for season 4. Maybe he might work a few matches, for season 4. He'll probably do some tapings, because I'm sure TNA will air while Matt Hardy can tape for Lucha Underground and, make everything happen. And then, of course, we got the incident with Maria where Allie finally slaps Maria. Allie finally stands up to Maria. And, of course, her and Laurel Van Ness beat her down and all that. And I'm kind of glad that Allie finally stood up for herself. I'm hoping that this is the end of this. And now what I would like to see down the road is I'd like to see Braxton Sutter finally speak on all of this. That's what I like to see. I'd like to find out if all the stuff that Laurel Van Ness is saying about Braxton Sutter is true. Are they really hooking up? And does he really prefer Laurel over Allie? Or will Braxton dump Laurel Van Ness, go with Allie, and we see like a crazy love story happen there? Like it's going to be intriguing to see. But I'm hoping that's where the storyline leads. Because I'd like to see Allie eventually start to stand up for herself. I like to see her start fighting more in the ring. And I like to see her actually start wrestling more. I'm hoping that during this time, while she's been the assistant, both as the heel and the babyface, that she has been doing some wrestling. That she has been training somewhere. Or taking some indie bookings. Because I know now she's going to be wrestling as Allie and not as Cherry Bomb. I think her days as Cherry Bomb are going to be over. And the only way I could ever see Allie wrestling as Cherry Bomb again is if she somehow got picked up by NXT. Or got a developmental deal in the Performance Center. Then they might book her as Cherry Bomb again. But either way, there's a lot that can be said and a lot that can be done in TNA, and this Allie story can go a million different ways. And now that Allie's finally stood up for herself, I like to see Braxton Sutter brought in and see where he truly fits in all this. At some point, he's got to go, look, Laurel, I can speak for myself. And on that note, I will now bring to the show my traditional, my Monday co-host, who's normally the Monday co-host, but he's pretty much been the co-host all this week, especially since Desmond is gone for the rest of the year. He's an independent wrestling manager, works up and down the East Coast. He is a stand-up comic who recently did a headlining show this past Friday, and also he is coming out with a brand new album, Hits to Shits, which he's currently working on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Boochcast, Gator Ricky Ross.
Go lean, go lean, go lean, go lean. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Gator Ricky Ross is brought to you by Gator Ricky Ross is brought to you today by Snickers. Give me my fucking money.
Well, I'm glad Snickers allowed you to call in today, Gator. Appreciate it.
Yes. Hang on a second. I'm doing a little bit of business here. The wrestling community, we're trying to rally around one particular guy, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. This particular guy is a second-generation superstar. He got into a little bit of some issues with the thing, and we're putting up a shirt. So if you want to buy an Ugly Duckling shirt, holiday shirt that says Happy Ducking Holidays, get a hold of Brian Aldizer, Aldhizer, or Lance Lance or Rob or any of them. Them boys will hook you up real good with a shirt, and all the money goes back to helping out our buddy who is in really bad situation right now. I can't go into specifics what it is, but
Okay.
he's in a real bad situation right now. So if anybody wants to do that, and this is Gator being serious right now. If anybody wants to buy a really, really cool shirt, hit these people up, because they'll hook you up with a really neat shirt.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Just so make sure you send me the information on where they can go and who can contact with, and we'll put it up on the Boochcast Facebook page.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. I will definitely send that. I can't do it now, but I'll do it. I'll definitely later.
Okay.
And we'll, if you want, like I said, if anybody wants to help, brother, I can't say his name. I want to, and I want to tell y'all what's going on, but I can't. That's his business.
Okay.
Granted, it is plastered all over the internet right now, because dude is an ROH superstar. So it is plastered all over the internet, but I can't let y'all know what's going on. I can't personally, because I don't want to do that to another brother. But,
okay.
If you want to help a brother out, 100% of the proceeds of this $20 shirt is going back to his family.
Okay.
And to him, to help him get the treatment he needs.
Okay.
Hashtag ducks fly together.
Absolutely. Ducks fly together. I like that.
Yeah. Well, he's in a very well-known trio called the Ugly Ducklings, and that right now is what we're putting out right now. Hashtag ducks fly together. Hashtag prayers for my buddy. So, but I got to run now because I got to go back to work.
Oh, okay. So all right. So you're not gonna stick around. You can't stick around for the show.
I can't. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I'm not mad or anything. I'm just curious. All right.
But tomorrow, Gator will be back.
All righty. We'll talk to you then.
Yes, sir. I gotta run. Hey, y'all have a good day, and thank you for everything.
You're welcome. All righty. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was Gator Ricky Ross. Unfortunately, not able to stick around for the show today, but I'm glad he was able to get that information out. And like I said, I'll have Gator post that info to the Boochcast Facebook page, where you can get information on where you can buy your T-shirts to help support a fellow wrestler who is sadly injured. So it looks like it's just going to be us today, ladies and gentlemen. So on that note, we're going to move on to the recap of WWE TLC. Now, you'll notice the title of today's show is called Trump Lacerated Clinton. There's a reason for that. Number one, I was trying to find a TLC, thing, because, one of the things that I try to do on TLC is I try to find, different words and things to say, like tender love and care, or travel, lodging, camping. I try to find just different, acronyms, for TLC, just to make it interesting. Well, this year I decided to do something with Trump and Clinton, since it was T and C, but I was trying to find a word that started with L. That was another, I basically went through a thesaurus on the internet and was trying to find a word that started with L that could, mean defeating, beating someone. Because Trump did defeat Clinton. That's a fact. Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton to become the president of the United States. And obviously, it's no secret who I sided with. And I'm sure you guys some of you may agree and sided with the same guy I did. Some of you may have supported Hillary, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. Here at the Boochcast, you can vote for whoever you want. You can support whoever you want. But if you're going to call in and you're going to debate me, have facts, have logic, Do not judge on emotion and do not label. That was all I ask. But as far as I'm concerned, the election's over. Trump's the president. My advice to everybody is fucking get over it. Focus on the things you can control, like your jobs and shit. Focus on your life. And that's so anyway, I found out that lacerate was defined as tear or make deep cuts, which obviously did not happen in this debate, at least not literally, they were more metaphorically. But it also says criticize forcefully or severely. And I think it's safe to say that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton criticized each other forcefully and severely throughout these debates. It was heated. So that's why I called the title of today's show Trump Lacerated Clinton, because I wanted to have the TLC thing going. And I felt it was presidential metaphorical. And I see Gator Ricky Ross is back. So before we get into TLC, let's see what's going on here. Gator, what's up?
Change of plans. I'm back.
Awesome. All right. Well, on that, what?
I'll see you about Reese's peanut butter cup. Bring me my fucking lunch.
All right. And on that note, we are going to kick it off with the recap of WWE TLC Tables and Ladders and Chairs. Oh my. And the show.
Oh my. Very much.
Yes. And this took place at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. And so we're going to kick things off with the first match of the evening for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Rhino and Heath Slater defended the titles against Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
Okay, all right. Let me nice. See, there's a nice way to put this. This match was actually not shit.
No, it wasn't. This was a very strong start to the show.
This is a good way to start it. I mean, if you're going to start something out that way, you might as well start it out good, right?
Yeah. And I think it's great that they picked the only match on the card that didn't have a stipulation attached to it to open the show. That's actually great booking as well.
Oh, it's great booking there. I mean, I had no problem with this match at all. Now, once we get to the middle of this card, there's going to be some cussing going on.
Yes.
But right now, currently, the beginning, we were all right. We had no issue.
Yes. I felt it was great. Heath Slater and Rhino, we always knew they had chemistry, but Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt were each great in their own unique way. The best part is Luke Harper didn't really have to get involved in this match. He kind of just stood there. They pretty much seemed to have
He didn't really do anything. I mean, there was a couple spots where, like the spot where Rhino Gordon. Now you're making the Wyatt family look like the faces here when you got Rhino Gordon in for no reason.
Oh yeah. And then of course, during the commotion, Orton tags in.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And when Rhino sits up for Wyatt for the gore, Orton runs in, hits Rhino with the RKO out of nowhere, and then Orton gets the pin, and now we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
Vinny, hang on a second. You cocksucking motherfucker cut me off in the middle of the damn. Yeah, I hope there's a special place in hell for your ass. Sorry, Vinny.
It's okay. Glad no one was hurt.
I'm driving.
All right. Well, what's interesting about this is that I found it interesting that Bray Wyatt hands his title over to Luke Harper, and then Randy Orton hands his title over to Luke Harper. That kind of confused me. I think, Gator, like I said, you actually are in the wrestling business, so you understand certain things that I don't. What the hell kind of symbolism was that trying to show?
There's a changing in the ranks, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay. Maybe it symbolizes, and this is the only thing I can think about, maybe it is symbolizing a new leader has emerged in the family.
Okay, so this is pretty much Luke Harper finally accepting Randy Orton as one of them.
That could be part of it too. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's the new leader. It could mean acceptance. It could mean he's just becoming a straight manager now and he's just gonna stand there like a fucking idiot. I mean, anyway, it don't matter. I mean, it's whatever works. But still, I don't know where they're going with this.
I don't either. I just know that now Randy Orton is officially a 2-time tag team champion, and Bray Wyatt finally has his first championship in WWE.
Yeah. I'm happy about that because I never thought I'd be alive to see that day.
Neither would I.
Yeah, I would have thought somebody would have done kick my ass by now.
And yeah, me too. And the thing is, with Bray Wyatt, you know, people have been wondering when he was finally going to get a championship. At one point, people thought he was on the fast track to the world title, but now he's a tag team champion with Randy Orton.
Hang on a second, Vinny. You fucking dickhead! I hope you die in a fire. God damn. Okay, driving with idiots. Where you want to see one, but you don't want to fucking be one. Give me my money.
And my money too, by the way, over there. Give me my fucking money. Now, but yeah, so great start to the show. New tag team champions. Definitely intriguing. And I find it interesting that we have SmackDown tag team champions, new tag team titles, and the first two champions were guys that didn't really start off as tag teams. They were two guys that just got thrown together. Now, obviously, they have great chemistry with each other, so it works. But I just find that kind of interesting. The SmackDown that there's actual tag teams, like real tag teams on the roster, and none of them have touched the belts yet.
Yes, that's good. I'm sorry, I just gunned it like I was in the Duke to have to jump the damn curve.
Woo! And then, of course, the Wyatts are now celebrating. They've got the tag team titles in their possession. Randy Orton is now standing next to Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. So they're now, instead of just going up to the turnbuckle.
You know, I didn't think about this, but it might be something else that is symbolized by giving the title to Harper. The Freebird rule.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that just got for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know what the fucking Freebird rule is, it is the rule that was in place back when the Fabulous Freebirds came into wrestling that states that anyone in a 3-man team, as long as they are a member of that 3-man team, they can defend those titles because they belong to such 3-man teams. Which makes it extremely difficult.
Yes.
Extremely difficult to prepare for such 3-man teams because you don't know who will be defending those titles.
Yes.
AKA everything you see the New Day do.
Yeah. And hopefully a certain someone who claims to have all the results was paying attention. Never too late to get an education. Anyway.
Yes. Desmond, I hope you were paying attention.
And on that
Vinny
note.
don't call names, Gator calls names.
Yes. Okay, I found that interesting. I was actually thinking about Chase Carter, but Desmond works too. But anyway.
Don't get me started on Chase Carter.
Oh, I won't.
Chase Carter did a no-no last night on his damn page and I'm gonna call his ass out. Michael, you did a no-no last night by taking the shit off the WWE Network and going live on Facebook. For people that don't have the WWE Network, your page can be put down for that shit, Michael. I ain't gonna call you by your fucking fake ass name no damn more. You hear me, Michael Nazaire? Your shit to be taken down if I report it. I hold the fate of your fucking page in my hands, bitch. You better start groveling like that. Bark like a dog.
Anyway, and then of course, after all this, we cut to the backstage area where we see Dean Ambrose. And of course, Dean Ambrose is facing AJ Styles in the tables, ladders, and chairs match. And here's what Dean has to say about stepping into the ring.
Please welcome my guest at this time, Dean Ambrose. Dean, before we discuss your match tonight, do you have an update on the condition of James Ellsworth?
Oh, well, I'm sure he's fine. He's a trooper, you know. He's probably keeping his chin up. He's keeping his spirits up. You know, the good thing is he's at home. He's out of the danger zone. He's just sitting on the couch watching the WWE Network, letting the grown-ups do the grown-up work tonight.
Well, it appears that AJ Styles managed to get under your skin at SmackDown Live. Do you think that you need to keep your temper in check in order to best execute your game plan in your TLC match tonight?
My temper is my game plan. See, I like to just kind of go with the flow, you know? So when I get pissed off, I like to just kind of roll with that. See, AJ Styles is a phenomenal athlete. In a different world, under different circumstances, it might be an honor to share the ring with AJ Styles, but he's an easy way out kind of guy. Kind of guy who likes to take the low road, go for the low blow. I'm not like that. Unfortunately for AJ Styles, there is no easy way to win a TLC match. There's no easy way to go crashing through a table. There's no easy way to get a steel chair slammed on your back over and over. There's no easy way to climb a ladder when I'm pounding your kidneys with my forearm. You know what I'm saying? Every moment of the TLC match is hard. Bone-crushing, life-altering work hard. Just the way I like it. See, there's something about me that makes me make my life as difficult as possible. I live hard. I do the hard work. Tonight, there's only one way to win the TLC match. It's a very simple formula. Horrible pain and suffering equals glory. Gentlemen, welcome to Flavor Country tonight, AJ Styles. A great friend of mine once said, it's gonna be hard times.
Well, never wrong with quoting a little Dusty Rhodes from time to time, but I guess it's safe to say that Dean is ready for this match.
Yeah, no shit. I don't think he was ready for the shocking ending that we're not going to talk about till we get there.
But yeah,
let's just say this. I sent Vinny a picture this morning, 2 pictures. What'd you think of them, Vinny? I made them myself.
Oh, they're great.
One of them is a picture of James Ellsworth that says, and I quote, "When this man steps into the ring, people know they're getting ready to witness greatness."
Yes.
Or something like that.
It's when this man steps into the ring, know you're about to see greatness.
Yes. And then the other one is a picture of James Ellsworth with his fist up, side by side with Scrappy Doo. And it says, "When WWE steals gimmicks from cartoons."
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be one of our favorites. And definitely Dean Ambrose. Love the promo. Horrible pain, suffering equals glory. Just Dean Ambrose, looking like he's going to show some violence, which is what we need in a match of this magnitude. So I like the fact that Dean Ambrose is starting to go a little bit dark with this. It's not as funny as he normally is. And then, of course, after all that, as soon as it's done, they cut to AJ Styles, who's with Renee Young, and he gives a rebuttal to Dean Ambrose.
AJ, we just heard from the challengers to the WWE World Championship, and Dean says that tonight you're in for some hard times.
Hard times? Maybe Dean's right. I've been in matches like these before. I know exactly what they can do to the human body. And I know Dean Ambrose, and I know him very well. You see, the problem was never knocking him down. It was keeping him there. That was the problem. But I would say after a couple of chair shots, some tables, some ladders, sure, Dean Ambrose will get back up just in time to see me on top of the ladder holding my WWE Championship.
All right. So we got two aggressive promos from the top two guys, from the two guys that will be facing off in the main event, which to me, this was important for both these men. You know, we've been watching AJ Styles cut his promos on Dean. We've been watching Dean cut his promos on AJ. Dean being all funny and hilarious. AJ Styles being angry, pissed off, and just flat out frustrated. So to see these two guys finally get everything they need off their chest was great. These were great promos by both of these guys, and it did exactly what needed to be done to set the tone for the rest of the show. And by setting the tone for the rest of the show, they were able to make the main event watchable after what would transpire a little later. Now, Gator, for some reason, has cut off. He got cut off. We'll see if he calls back in, but we got no choice. We have to move on. And we move on to the next match of the evening, which is a no disqualification match. Nikki Bella versus Carmella. This match was not very good. This match kind of sucked, I'll be honest. It wasn't quite as horrible as Gator will make it out to be if he calls back in. But a lot of people were not happy with this match. I felt it could have been a little bit better. But at the same time, here was the real issue that I had. This match could have been more brutal. But I feel like the reason that it wasn't is because they already had the table match, the ladder match, the chairs match, the TLC. So obviously they didn't want any of those guys, any of that, and Nikki Bella or Carmella or even the Wyatts, almost said Hardys, the Wyatts, bringing in any more, weapons or bringing in the same weapons to be used. So I think that's why we saw, for example, Carmella grabs a kendo stick from under the ring, starts hitting Nikki with it. And then Nikki makes a comeback, but Carmella drops her again with kicks to Nikki's bad knee. And, of course, at some point, Nikki grabs the kendo stick, but apparently Nikki Bella doesn't know how to hold a kendo stick. There's a blatant handle you're supposed to grab. Now, if I watch it back again, I think the reason Nikki grabbed it that way was because she just grabbed it, and that's the way it was laying down, and she was just trying to hit Carmella. But either way, a lot of people criticized her for her inability to hold the kendo stick. At the same time, though, she can't flip it around and grab the handle. She has to grab it as close as possible if that's the way it's fallen. But again, I'm just trying my best to remember the match as I saw it. I also did like the fact that Nikki grabbed a fire extinguisher and was spraying Carmella with it. Obviously, I did my traditional stuff. Like, that's not the first time Carmella's had white stuff sprayed in her face. And if you don't believe me, just ask Big Cass, because he'll know that better than anyone. Yeah, Carmella and Big Cass are dating, for those of you that didn't know. But ultimately, that's how it went. That's how it worked. That's how it was good. So it wasn't the best match in the world, but it was definite. I think it was a good match with what they had to work with. And I also like the fact that when Nikki Bella came out to the ring, she had her hair tied back and like ponytailed or cornrowed, and she came out with like the arms, the hands somewhat taped up. Because when Nikki came out to that ring, she had that look on her face like, I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here for a fight. Like Nikki Bella actually looked serious as she was coming out to the ring, which to me shows that Nikki Bella gives a shit. It makes Nikki Bella look more badass, and I think Nikki Bella should look like that when she comes out to the ring for a match. Not for a promo, a match. You know, she can keep her hair looking all nice and Bella sexy when she has to cut a promo. You know, and she may get into a little bit of a scuffle, she can have it there. But when it's bell time, cornrow the damn hair. Just because it looks better. It gives more credibility to Nikki. Because it makes Nikki look like a fighter and not like a model. Which is, I think, is something they need to differentiate. Let her look like a model on Total Divas or Total Bellas, or if she makes a guest spot in a TV show or a cameo in a movie. Let her look like a model then. When it's fight time, make her look like a fighter. Make her look like a wrestler. Make her look like somebody that could kick your fucking ass. Because that is the only way you're going to get people to take her seriously. And then, of course, she then hits her Rack Attack 2.0 and gets the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Nikki Bella wins the match. And I'll be honest, I kind of thought Carmella was going to win that match. So I was kind of shocked to see Nikki Bella win. But one thing is certain. This rivalry is now supposed to come to an end. That I know. This match, this rivalry should be over now. After tonight, no more Nikki Bella versus Carmella bullshit. This rivalry needs to stop. And now Nikki Bella needs to move on to another opponent, as does Carmella. But the question is, who is Nikki Bella going to fight next? Well, after the match, as Nikki Bella is walking up the ramp, Carmella grabs a microphone, and here's what she has to say to the Total Bella.
Nikki. You think you even the odds after what happened to you at Survivor Series? Except you did it. Because I wasn't the one who attacked you that night. It wasn't me. I know who did it though. It was your little friend from Total Divas. Natalia.
What?
That's right.
Wow, Natalia. There can't be any truth to that. There can't be. There had to be somebody from Raw.
Well, obviously, that's what JBL wants to believe. But from the looks of things, it seems like Natalia was the one who attacked. So Carmella made it clear, I was not the one that jumped Nikki Bella before Survivor Series. And Carmella says it was Natalia. Now, I personally believed it was Natalya. I had a good vibe. I knew the second Natalya went out to the ring and became the new 5th member of the team of Team SmackDown Live, I had a feeling it was Natalya. I doubt it was one of the women from Raw. If it was one of the women from Raw, then I don't know how you're going to make that storyline plausible unless the person who attacked her gets traded to SmackDown. Or if Nikki Bella invades Raw and tries to declare war on whoever it was that did it, and then they have an interpromotional divas match between Nikki Bella and whoever it was from Raw that attacked her, whether it be Charlotte, whether it be Sasha, whether it be Nia, whether it be Alicia, whether it be Bayley, or even Dana Brooke, who I thought it was at one point too. There was many different suspects that I had, but if Natalya is in fact the one, that's going to be interesting to see what kind of repercussions she's going to get from the general manager and the commissioner, Shane McMahon, and the general manager, Daniel Bryan. So there's going to be a lot at stake in the next couple weeks. And of course, we'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown Live whether or not there actually is a moment, whether or not there's actually going to be a match between them. So it's going to be intriguing to see what happens and how it all works out, and if Natalya is in fact the culprit. Although it will be, like I said, and I think Nikki Bella and Natalya, if Natalya is in fact the one who did it, then I think there should be a rivalry at some point. I think at the Royal Rumble, they should definitely have a match. I would love to see Natalya and Nikki Bella fight. And maybe here's what I'd like to see. At the Royal Rumble, I would like them to have a match. And then whoever wins that match gets a shot at the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. Now, and I don't know who would win that match, but whoever wins that match could potentially become the next SmackDown Women's Champion. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Nikki Bella and Natalya fight for a number one contender spot, as well as beating the hell out of each other. And I think that's also going to be, I can see that becoming potentially a no disqualification match as well. Also, one more thing about the no disqualification match that we all noticed was that at one point during the no disqualification match, the referees started counting when they were outside the ring. And apparently, there's no countouts in a no disqualification match. Or is there? I don't know. Like, I heard some people saying that there's no countouts. I don't know if there are or not. Personally, it didn't really bother me too much, but I can tell it bothered a lot of people. Personally, I think there should be. Because you got to make everything separate. Otherwise, when you have these weird stipulation matches, they're all pretty much the same. There has to be some level of difference between them. For example, the difference between a no-holds-barred match and a falls count anywhere match is the pinfall is at no-holds-barred, the pin can only happen in the ring. In falls count anywhere, it can happen anywhere. So that's just how I feel about it anyway. So then, of course, after that, we cut to the backstage area with Daniel Bryan, the general manager. And obviously, Daniel Bryan also booked another rivalry that's scheduled to end, which is between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And Daniel Bryan has said that this will be the definitive end to the rivalry, regardless of who wins. Well, obviously, people want Daniel Bryan's thoughts on the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. And here's what the GM has to say about it.
is the general manager of SmackDown Live, Daniel Bryan. Daniel, as the general manager of SmackDown Live, you always do what is right for your brand. However, you must have your favorites, and there have to be those that you don't like. I mean, rumor has it that you'd like to see The Miz lose his Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, that would be right. But not for the reasons that you might think. See, I think Dolph Ziggler is a much better representative for SmackDown as Intercontinental Champion. He's a quality human being. He's amazing in the ring. Yeah, he's risen to this height on his own power. But that said, despite the Miz's arrogance, he does bring a certain star quality to the Intercontinental Championship. But that said, SmackDown's the land of opportunity. There's room for everyone.
Did everyone hear what Daniel Bryan said? Did you finally admit that you don't like me?
I've never liked you. Well, I never liked you either. As a matter of fact, I wish it was you in that ring instead of Dolph Ziggler so I could shove you off a 10-foot ladder. But nothing is going to please me more than you watching me go up the ladder, reach out, and grab my Intercontinental Championship. So enjoy, Daniel. Enjoy.
I had to include that last part where the fan yells, "No one likes you," because that's a fact. Literally, no one likes The Miz. In the ring, out of the ring, no one likes this douchey piece of shit. And it's true. Daniel Bryan said, "I never liked you." I never liked The Miz either. So I like that. I feel just fine hearing Daniel Bryan say that. I have despised The Miz with everything that I've got. I have hated The Miz more than life itself. I truly do not like, I truly don't like The Miz. I think he is the embodiment of everything that is wrong with the WWE. I truly do. I think he is the ultimate cancer. I mean, you know, people give Roman Reigns a lot of shit. And even Gator on this show has given Roman Reigns a lot of shit because a lot of people in the wrestling business, you know, at least on the indie circuit, don't really respect him. But let me tell you this. I would gladly have I would rather have a roster full of 1,000 Roman Reigns than to have one Miz. I would rather see Roman Reigns as a champion till the day he dies than to see Miz as a champion for one more day. Which is why, when we move on to the next match of the evening, this is when the pay-per-view really starts to suck, folks. We have in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, The Miz defends against Dolph Ziggler, and this match was shit. It was. Now, if Desmond was here, he would try to tell you that this match was great. Desmond would come here and be like, the match was great. You know, it put a definitive end to the rivalry. It's been made clear there'll be no more chances for whoever lost. And it was good booking and blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. The match sucked. It sucked. If anyone thought this match was great, I'd like to hear your definition of what great in wrestling is. I felt like the booking was terrible in this match. I didn't feel that The Miz did not deserve the championship. The match had a few high spots, but again, did nothing, in my opinion, to get the crowd going. Like Dolph Ziggler, some people enjoyed it, but it was mostly just Ziggler running, jumping, playing, and frolicking. and The Miz trying to keep up. This match was boring. This is one of the most boring ladder matches I have ever watched in my life. I refuse to believe that anything good came out of it. I mean, the only good spot in the match was when The Miz did lock in a figure four while Ziggler's leg was stuck through the ladder, which caused a lot of pain. I will admit that's pretty unique. That I liked. I'll give credit where credit is due. That was a good spot in the match. But for the most part, it was just Ziggler jumping around and doing that instead of actual wrestling, which is what Ziggler, in my opinion, is better at. Like, it reminded me of all the things about Dolph Ziggler that I didn't like, where he has great wrestling, but for a while he was just doing the spot monkey stuff. And it was stuff that was causing him to get those large amount of concussions that he got, which ultimately caused him to get knocked down the ladder metaphorically so much. And now The Miz is, and in the end, The Miz hits a low blow and sends Ziggler down the ladder. And then The Miz grabs the Intercontinental title belt and wins the match. So The Miz is still the Intercontinental Champion. And then, of course, throughout the match, The Miz was mocking Daniel Bryan with the yes chants. And now The Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. The rivalry is over. And then The Miz takes the microphone, and here's what he has to say about winning the Intercontinental title match.
I want to dedicate this win to the SmackDown Live General Manager, Daniel Bryan. Hey, Daniel, we did it. Because of all your motivation of always hating me and denying me and giving Dolph Ziggler chance after chance after chance. It motivated me to be the greatest Intercontinental Champion ever. That is why we are in day 19 of the Miz's never-ending Intercontinental Championship reunion tour. Someone get Dolph Ziggler a participation award, because that's what you people in Dallas do. You give people that participate awards. So give them an award. Give yourselves all awards, because we all know participation means loser. Loser, 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 loser. Winner. Loser, wherever he is. And above and beyond out. Winner. The victor gets the spoils. I win. There's one. No argument. But this retains the Intercontinental Championship, and love them or loathe them, it was awesome.
Well, first of all, the answer is loathe them. Second of all, this match was anything but awesome. I see it as the ultimate slap in the face to the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sorry. I found this match to be disgraceful. I find The Miz to be disgraceful. In fact, the only thing I enjoyed about that promo was that The Miz went off on people who get participation awards, because I also think that participation means loser. I hate participation trophies. I hate participation ribbons. I hate participation awards. I hate those things. I hate them. I think that they're part of the reason why the younger generation is so fucking weak and pathetic, is because of that. I truly believe that. That plays a major role. Like, I'm one of those dads. If my son or daughter got a participation trophy, I would throw it in the trash. I would. I will take that trophy and trash it and tell my kids, no. You lose, you don't get a trophy, you get pizza and you shut the fuck up. like I did. You know, participation trophies are for fucking losers. They really are. So that I admit I like. I like the fact that Miz went off on the participation thing. I love that. So I will admit that promo was very good. I will give the Miz credit there. But I still feel like he does not deserve to be Intercontinental Champion. I now know that that is going to be the one thing on SmackDown Live that I'm going to be fast forwarding through. And is the one aspect of SmackDown Live that I do not want to talk about because it is the only thing about SmackDown Live that I absolutely fucking hate. I have one thing about SmackDown that I hate, and it's The Miz. I love everything else. Everything else that happens on SmackDown Live, I enjoy. It's a land of opportunity, and it's great. But the one thing I cannot stand is The Miz. Some people say it's a personal issue. Maybe it is, but this is my fucking show. So I'm allowed to have a personal opinion. And I'm sorry. I have no respect for The Miz, and nothing he does will ever get my respect. Because he's a hack. He's a hack. And I can't stand it. I don't respect him, and I never will. I never will. I know they say never in wrestling. Well, the Booch is saying never. Never will I respect The Miz. And on that note, we're going to move on to the next match of the evening. This was a chairs match. We had Baron Corbin versus Kalisto. This match actually wasn't all that bad. Now, a lot of people didn't seem to like this match. It was not a well-liked match by a lot of people. However, I will say it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was still bad. Like, the match itself was bad with Kalisto and Baron Corbin because these guys have been fighting back and forth and back and forth. So the match started off very, very boring. But it picked up in the middle. When Corbin, like, for example, when Kalisto used the chair to get more elevation, he ran, jumped on the chair, jumped on the rope, and did a flying crossbody, and then, or a senton splash. And then eventually there was a senton splash onto Corbin, onto a pile of chairs. As soon as Kalisto comes out, he immediately starts throwing chairs in the ring. And then Kalisto was bashing Baron Corbin with chairs. And at one point, he actually set up some chairs and knocked Corbin into them. Like, he hurricane Corbin into another chair. Like, they used the chairs and placed them very well throughout this match, which is what I think makes a chairs match great, when you could use them and use them properly. And then what was great was Kalisto made a pile of chairs in the middle of the ring, goes to the top rope, Kalisto comes flying off, but Corbin hits him out of the air with a steel chair. Right before Kalisto had hit some kicks and a Hurricane Rana off the fan barricade. I mean, these guys literally beat each other senseless with those chairs. But then in the end, Corbin hit the end of days onto the pile of chairs. Got the 1, 2, 3. The winner of the match, Baron Corbin. Now, once again, Baron Corbin has beaten Kalisto. The only difference is this is the one match where Kalisto actually put up a fight. So the big question now is, have we finally seen the end of the Baron Corbin-Kalisto rivalry? Is Baron Corbin finally going to move on to another opponent? Is Kalisto finally going to move on to another opponent? Could we potentially see Kalisto get traded to Raw? Which is what I think Kalisto needs to do. I don't think Kalisto is going to have much of a future here in WWE if he stays on SmackDown. I know SmackDown is supposed to be the land of opportunity, but at the same time, there's a lot of booking and creative that goes into it, so I got to be realistic. Kalisto has no future on SmackDown. He really doesn't. Kalisto needs to go to Raw. He needs to go and fight in the Cruiserweight division. And at some point, he and Sin Cara need to reunite as the Lucha Dragons and add another tag team to the roster. Kalisto's not going to have a future. They're never going to make Kalisto the Intercontinental Champion. He's not going to become the World Champion. And I doubt he's going to win the tag team titles with anybody. So in my opinion, it does nothing for Kalisto to keep him on SmackDown. And Baron Corbin's already whooped his ass multiple times. Baron Corbin needs to start getting in some title matches. I think at this point, he needs to be the guy to take the Intercontinental title off The Miz. Or put him in the world title picture if he's too good for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, I say take Kalisto out of action. Have him show up on Raw. Let Baron Corbin be the guy that got rid of him because he hates those little pests. I think that's something that would be more beneficial because it's not going to help them any other way. All right, so on that note, we're going to move on to, we're going to cut to the backstage area where we see Natalya. Now, obviously, earlier in the night, Carmella claimed that Natalya was the one who attacked Nikki Bella backstage Survivor Series. Nikki thought it was Carmella, so they had the match, and Carmella officially told Nikki after the match, after Nikki whooped her ass, that it wasn't her and that it was Natalya. Well, now Natalya has been confronted, and here's what she has to say about being accused of being Nikki Bella's attacker.
Joining me now is WWE superstar Natalya. Natalya, earlier tonight, Carmella stated it was you who attacked Nikki Bella from behind, causing her not to be able to compete at Survivor Series. Do you care to comment?
Yeah, right. I want to take this moment to wish Becky the best of luck in her match tonight. There is no woman on our SmackDown Live women's roster that represents the division as well as Becky. Her athleticism, her star power, she is incredible. As far as Carmella's accusations go, they're absurd.
Now, notwithstanding Carmella's character, why would she lie?
I don't know. Because she's a liar.
Okay. Well, obviously, this is Natalya giving a very stupid answer and pretty much being a dead giveaway that she is, in fact, the one who attacked Nikki Bella. I think at some point, they're going to have to do something where they find security footage and it shows it happening. That's the only logic I can come up with because I doubt Natalya is ever going to confess to it. But the big question is, if Natalya isn't the culprit, then it would have to be somebody from Raw. Either that, or they're going to do an ultimate swerve and say that maybe it was Naomi, who's supposed to be Nikki's friend. But at the same time, though, they were all those four women were in the ring as Nikki Bella was being shown hurt backstage. Like they all looked at Carmella, and Carmella's like, "I didn't do anything," because they automatically looked at Carmella. Those remaining women, you know, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Naomi, they all looked at Carmella and said, "What did you do?" And Carmella was like, "I didn't do anything." And then they had the 5th, and then Natalya ended up being the replacement. So I still think Natalya did it, and she gave a really dumb answer. But I think that's just how Natalya is going to speak from now on. Let's face it, Natalya has no personality. She's trying, but she's failing miserably. Natalya can wrestle, and that's it. That's all, folks. Natalya has no other skills except wrestling. She can't talk, she has no personality, and she's boring as shit. So there's nothing she can do to fix any of that. And on that note, we're going to move on to the next match of the evening here. And we've got the tables match for the Women's Championship. Becky Lynch defends against Alexa Bliss. This match was actually pretty good. I do say so myself, and I do. I will say they did, like I said, they did a pretty decent job with this match. Now, I'll be honest, right out of the gate, I was not excited for this match because I was not happy with the fact that it was a tables match because I wanted this to be the ladder match. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to have the ladder match instead of the Cleveland Douche Twins. I did not want this to be a tables match, but the women did have a decent match. I mean, there were several near table spots, some brawling at ringside. Becky going for a superplex, but Alexa fought out. Alexa knocks Becky down, then stands up the table up against the turnbuckle. Becky comes back with a series of clotheslines. Becky goes for a T-bone suplex on Alexa through the table, but Alexa fights out and drops Becky. Becky gets Alexa in the disarmor, but Alexa gets out. Becky lays the table across the bottom ropes. The drop toe holds then drop toe holds Alexa into it. They start fighting on the ring apron. Then Alexa powerbombs Becky off the apron through the table at ringside and gets the win. So the winner of the match and the new women's champion, Alexa Bliss. And I'll admit, I liked this. And at one point, Alexa did hit a DDT onto the table on where Becky's head hit the table, but the table was already upside down, so it didn't break, obviously. But Alexa Bliss did end up putting Becky through the table and was able to win the match. So I like the fact that Alexa Bliss won the match. I think it's great to see a new women's champion. I think Alexa Bliss is definitely deserving of being a women's champion. In fact, I wish she had stayed in NXT and had a chance to be women's champion there. But obviously that wasn't the case. So now Alexa Bliss is officially the women's champion. She's a great heel. She's a great wrestler. She has an amazing personality. I think Alexa Bliss is going to do great as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, of course, this obviously means that we're going to see a rematch at some point. We are definitely going to see a rematch between Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch. The question is, will it take place on an episode of SmackDown, or will they wait till the Royal Rumble? Because obviously, the next pay-per-view for SmackDown is the Royal Rumble. And I think that's where their primary focus is going to be. Because Monday Night Raw, right now, they're focusing on Roadblock, which is in 2 weeks. And obviously that means that the recap of Roadblock is not going to take place till January on the new and improved and revamped Boochcast. Like I said, over the Christmas break, I'm going to be making some changes, and I'll do a video on Facebook Live that will explain the changes to the Boochcast. Because apparently more people tune into Facebook Live than I originally thought. So I think I might do a Facebook Live to explain that. But In 2 weeks, Raw's got Roadblock. And the only thing they're doing concerning the Royal Rumble is that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar are in the Royal Rumble. So Raw already has 2 superstars for the Rumble. So the question is, who will be the other guys that are going to compete? So I think it would be okay to have some women's title matches on there, and of course the world title matches for both shows would be at the Rumble as well. So that might be where it happens. Becky Lynch might invoke a rematch clause at the Royal Rumble, and her and Alexa Bliss can fight for a long time leading up to it. That's what I think is going to happen. Or it might happen on SmackDown, and then there's a number 1 contenders match, and then winner goes to the Rumble or whatever. But all we know is Becky Lynch is entitled to a rematch. So we just got to wait and see when they're going to book it. Because I definitely think Alexa Bliss is a great champion, or will be a great champion, and I'm intrigued to see how well she carries the championship. But either way, the tables match was great for what it was. Would have been better if it was a ladder match, but they did the best they could. And that's all you can ask these superstars to do. And on that note, we're going to move on to the main event of the evening for the WWE World Championship in a TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs. AJ Styles defends the title against Dean Ambrose. This match was awesome. This was the match of the night. The main event delivered. You should just fast forward to this match right here, because this is all you're going to see. At one point, there was a great moment where Dean Ambrose had 4 chairs, put up, had sat right up, and then did like a suplex, where it looks like he's going to do a front suplex, but then flips Styles over, and he lands back first onto the chairs, which was brutal. And then Dean Ambrose climbs up a ladder that he had positioned onto the announce table, and then does a flying elbow drop and crashes through Styles and puts him through the announce table, which is great. I mean, what's great about this match is they used the tables, the ladders, and the chairs effectively throughout the match, which made it great. At one point, Styles hit a springboarded off the top rope and hit a 450 splash onto Ambrose through a table, which was fucking epic. AJ Styles drops Ambrose with a kick ringside, hops on the ring apron, does his patented moonsault into a reverse DDT, which was freaking awesome. Like, AJ Styles, this was a coming out moment for Styles. This was AJ Styles showing WWE how brutal he can be, and reminding some WWE fans out there who are also TNA fans, because yes, there are some fans who watch both. I'm a fan who watches both. It reminds the TNA fans why AJ Styles was called the Phenomenal One. Why he's called the Phenomenal AJ Styles. And Styles was amazing in this match, because he said he'd been in this type of match before. He was referring to Full Metal Mayhem, which was TNA's version of the TLC match. They just called it Full Metal Mayhem. And they used tables, ladders, chairs, stairs, everything. They called it Full Metal Mayhem because TLC was copyrighted by WWE. So TNA couldn't call it that. So they put a patent on that. So they had to change it to Full Metal Mayhem, which was great. It's a great match, epically amazing. AJ Styles is great at those matches. He's had them multiple times, especially with Jeff Hardy. And Dean Ambrose, we know he's no stranger to the TLC match. He's been in a couple of his own. In fact, he fought. I think he fought Ryback and Team Hell No in a TLC match. He also fought Bray Wyatt in a TLC match. So Dean Ambrose has done the tables, ladders, and chairs before. So he's no stranger to that. He's fine with that. It was a hell of a fight. However, what's interesting here is that what was the shocking ending. So, of course, back in the ring, AJ Styles starts climbing the ladder, and all of a sudden, we see James Ellsworth come down the ramp. James Ellsworth walking down the ramp and distracts him. AJ comes down the ladder, starts beating down Ellsworth at ringside. He goes to hit Ellsworth with a Styles Clash on the ring steps, like he did on SmackDown. But Ambrose breaks it up with a flying clothesline, hits the Dirty Deeds on Styles on the ring steps. He gets in the ring, he's got that hyped up look on his face, and he climbs the ladder. He starts climbing the ladder. AJ comes up the other side of the ladder and starts fighting with Ambrose, but Ambrose knocks AJ off the ladder. He falls on the ground, rolls out of the ring, and then Ambrose is just about to grab the title belts when all of a sudden, to everyone's shock, James Ellsworth, a.k.a. Scrappy Doo himself, pushes the ladder over and sends Dean flying through two tables at ringside. So Ellsworth turns on Ambrose. AJ gets back in the ring, climbs the ladder, grabs the world title belt as Ellsworth cheers him on from ringside. So AJ Styles wins the match and is still the champ that runs the camp. And holy shit, I couldn't believe that. Now, I had a feeling that AJ Styles was going to win. I predicted AJ Styles was going to win. But that's because I heard Dean Ambrose was going to get traded to Raw and they were going to reform the Shield. And I felt that Styles was going to hold on to the belt for a little while longer because they definitely want to push Styles as a dominant champion. But I did not expect in a million years for James Ellsworth to push Ambrose off the ladder. Or for Scrappy Doo to turn heel. That's why on Facebook I put the hashtag Scrappy Doo turns heel. Because he fucking pushed him over. Now, apparently later on, when he was on an episode of Talking Smack, which aired right after the pay-per-view, Ellsworth claims that he did not turn on Dean Ambrose. Or he's pretty much saying to the audience, look, I'm not heel. I'm not a bad guy. The reason I turned on Ambrose is because he said he's already beaten AJ Styles 3 times. And he says, I believe I got his number. So he helped Styles win so he can take the belt from AJ Styles. And then he said, I'm talking smack. When I beat AJ and become the new WWE World Champion, I'm going to give Dean Ambrose the first crack at the championship. So obviously some people are understanding of it. Some people aren't buying it. Daniel Bryan says he's disgusted because he said the one thing that SmackDown has had over Raw and their Universal title is that our main event matches haven't had outside interference. Anyone who wins, they win because they're the better wrestler on that night. And James Ellsworth destroyed their credibility on that because James Ellsworth interfered. And that's true. Every main event match, there's been no interference. It's always been who's the better man, who's the better champion. They've had those fights come down. There's been some heel-like tactics that have caused things to end, but ultimately, that's what happened. And here's what went down. So that's what went down. Was Ellsworth basically saying he's got Styles' number, and we now know tomorrow on SmackDown Live, James Ellsworth will face AJ Styles for the WWE World Championship. So here's the thing. I foresee two possibilities happening. Either A, Dean Ambrose is interfering. Of that, I'm certain. The question is Dean Ambrose going to attack James Ellsworth, help Styles retain the title, and then they fight again at the Royal Rumble for the championship? Or is Dean Ambrose going to help James Ellsworth beat AJ Styles? Ellsworth becomes the world champion, but then Dean Ambrose challenges Ellsworth and basically has a goal to punish him. Like, he wants to help Ellsworth achieve his dream, and then just so Dean Ambrose can rip it away from him and embarrass James Ellsworth. So that's what I see happening. One of those two things is going to happen. Ambrose is getting involved. The question is, who's he going to help? That's what I want to know. Who's he going to help? Because I want to know, obviously, what's going to happen. Like, and then that means could either and then of course, if option 2 happens, then there's a good chance that Styles might go into the Royal Rumble. Or will Ambrose go in the Royal Rumble? Or will they fight each other and neither one of them goes in the Rumble? Maybe Ellsworth might be a pick in the Rumble match. That could be another scenario. Because I don't think Styles is going to beat – if AJ Styles beats James Ellsworth, it's not going to be legitimately. There's going to be interference on the part of Dean Ambrose. It's just going to happen. Because there's no way Ambrose is just going to sit back and do nothing. He's obviously going to want to get his hands on Ellsworth for doing this. So I'm sure, Ellsworth claims to have good intentions, but Ambrose isn't going to give a flying fuck about Ellsworth's good intentions. So we'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown Live what goes down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will wrap up the recap of WWE TLC. If Gator is able to call back in, I might get his thoughts on TLC, or we might just end it here. But either way, everything is coming to an end right now. So obviously we got some time left in the show. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a bit of a break here. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we are going to get into some wrestling talk here on the Boochcast. We'll do some wrestling and news talk to close out the show. So you guys sit tight for a bit, and I will return right after this.
When I rip my pants.
The oil spill by BP has left our balls all. The oil spill by BP has left our balls all.
The oil spill by BP has left our balls all over the sea. So don't go swimming down in the south unless you want tar balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth.
Welcome back to the Boochcast. During the break, we played two special songs for you guys. The first one was the Ripped Pants song from SpongeBob SquarePants. Some of you might be wondering, Vinny, why did you choose to play that song? Well, good questions, because of one thing that happened during the TLC recap that I didn't mention until I literally remembered it after I played the song, which is at some point during the match, AJ Styles ripped his pants. And literally, you could actually see it at some point. In fact, I didn't even notice it till I saw somebody on Facebook post that as I was sending out a tweet, as I was sending out the tweet about the tables match. And you could actually see it. It's a little bit embarrassing. Like, it is. Like, at some point, that hole had been placed if that hole hadn't happened on that particular part of his ass and it went somewhere else, it would have been some censors going on. But Styles basically ripped his pants. He was the fool who ripped his pants at TLC. So in honor of that, I played SpongeBob SquarePants with Ripped Pants here on the Boochcast. And of course, after that is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with the hit song "You're Welcome" from the Disney movie Moana. Now, apparently there's a guy named Manuel Lynn something, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. He's the guy who wrote the song. It was, let's see if I can type it in real quick. Manuel Lynn something. Oh, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Sorry. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the song "You're Welcome" for the movie Moana, which was sung by The Rock, and has quickly become a very popular Disney song from the movie. And now The Rock is joining the likes of Robin Williams and multiple other Disney stars who have, because "You're Welcome" is it's on its way to becoming a classic song. Like Sam Wright as Sebastian the Crab in Under the Sea, Robin Williams as the Genie with "Friend Like Me," Beauty and the Beast, the multiple songs they had, like Angela Lansbury with the actual song Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Like, it's becoming that iconic very quickly. And I actually thought about this, and I realized The Rock's entire career, from football, even though that's the only thing he's ever really failed at, to wrestling, to the movies, to Disney, to YouTube, to everything, The Rock's entire life is a child's bucket list. And this guy lives it. It's amazing. And I'll tell you, I have not seen the movie Moana yet. I've contemplated it because, on the one hand, it's a Disney movie, and I love Disney movies. I remember the classics I grew up with. Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, my classics from my childhood. But on the other hand, I am 29 and a few months away from 30. So if I did watch Moana, I couldn't go to the movies because I look like a creeper. So I'm probably going to wait till it comes out on demand before I watch it. But that song is stuck in my head, and I love it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you don't, bite me. It's my show. So that was Dwayne Johnson with You're Welcome here on the Boochcast. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the wrestling and news talk, I think Gator Ricky Ross has called back in. So we're going to welcome Gator back to the show. Gator, welcome back.
Oh my God, Blog Talk Radio. What in the hell? Okay, they did this shit on my show too, okay? I don't know what the hell's going on Blog Talk Radio, but I called back in 15 times, and I counted them.
Oh.
And I could not hear you, and it kept telling me, your show has not started yet, which I said was a damn lie, because it started.
Okay, I don't know what the problem is with that, because I'm on the air right now.
I know you are. I'm on the air right now too, I think.
Yeah. Okay, well, since you tried to call in 15 times, do you want to share?
Did it even show that I called in?
What?
Did it even show that I was trying to call in?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, if I'd have saw your name come up, I would have clicked on your name.
I know. I'm just saying that I couldn't hear you, and then what happened was earlier, about an hour ago, I couldn't hear you. Then I spent the next hour trying to get back on here. So Blog Talk Radio, go fuck yourself.
Yes. So Gator, since we got you back on, before you had the cutoff point, before all that crazy shit went down, we were talking about.
Before it broke.
Huh?
Before it fucking broke.
Yes. We were talking about the tag team title match. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to list off the names, and you just share your thoughts. I'm not even going to say anything, but we were about to move on to the no disqualification match, Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Take it away.
Okay. Shitty. There was a count out. What the fuck happened? WWE, I don't know what you're doing. Next.
The ladder match, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler.
Do you want me to get started on this one? Or
Please do.
This match was goddamn ridiculous. Okay, people? This match was so bad. It was, okay. My blind, deaf, mute grandmother could have done a better match.
Okay.
Just sad, it's blind, deaf, mute. Okay, this was a stack of bullshit. Okay, this was just terrible. Okay, Dolph Ziggler is out there galloping like a fucking deer, like a damn deer in the field. Just, hello, I'm Dolph Ziggler. I am in the field. I am galloping. Look at me, fucking prancing out there with the damn ladders because they just want to see him fucking prance. That's why it was a ladder match. Now, the Miz is out there, you're scared of heights and all this other shit, and I'm just like, dear God, Lord Jesus, kill me, please. And apparently it didn't work because I had to sit through that, okay? If you wanted to let me just tell you this. If you wanted to get any information out of these terrorists, lay that as torture, because it would be cruel and unusual punishment that would fucking work. They would start talking in a moment.
Well, first of all, let me just.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just want to say for the record, I'm so glad we agree on this, and I hope Desmond's listening because he's trying to convince me this was great booking.
And to Desmond, I say, fuck you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because we talked about this, so what Vinny failed to mention in the weekend recap is I told his ass during the pay-per-view. Okay? I'm the only person that can do it. Don't nobody else do it. because I had to find out whether or not what was going on and whether we had the same thoughts, different thoughts. Basically, Vinny and I was collaborating for the show today. Okay, so and I called Zach's phone, which was hilarious because Zach didn't know what to do after he got his speaker working.
Yeah. He was. I literally had his phone. I had to push his phone speaker against my ear just to hear you. My arm was starting to fall asleep. Like I was getting like tennis elbow or something.
I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry about that, but you should thank me because I did have the courtesy as a good friend to not call you on your phone thinking y'all were watching it on yours.
Oh, I know. I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying my arm was starting to fall asleep. I was like, this is hurting me.
I know. You were mad at Zach because his phone was crap. And see, the whole time Vinny's sitting here watching this shit, Zach is sitting next to him, and the women's tables match is going on. And I'm thinking to myself, I know why Zach's so damn quiet because that's the only time he's ever seen a female in a long damn while.
That is true. That is very true.
Yes, it is. Yes, that is very true.
Yes.
No, but seriously though, Zach's sitting there all quiet like, and I keep hearing this like a kind of like a smacking.
Yeah.
Like a I can't do this. Hang on a second. Like a. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Like that kind of sound. And I didn't want to say this to Vinny because I didn't want to make Zach cry. But it sounded a lot like he was trying to watch with one hand and watch with the other. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounded like he was beating his shit.
Oh
like
yeah.
an Iraqi prisoner.
Like it owed him money.
Yeah. Beating him like a mobster who had money owed to him.
Yeah,
just pow, 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 pow. I'm like, damn, son. Damn. Well, I mean, I understand you've never seen vagina before. You got to pace yourself. Pace yourself.
Yes. And on that note, so we're gonna move on to and then the next match was Baron Corbin, Kalisto in a chairs match.
Fucking pointless. Moving on.
Okay. And then the next was the tables match, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch.
Okay. I'm going to say this. This is where the pay-per-view started to get better. After the bathroom break, apparently WWE had a damn revelation and we're like, holy shit. We got to do something because we done lost everybody to the bathroom break. We got to get them back. Now, they got tables match out there, and I'm happy that Alexa Bliss is the new damn champion. Granted, every single match the heel won last night. So it was all heel pay-per-view yesterday. If nobody else caught on to that.
Kind of did.
Yeah, it was kind of predictable one. After like 3 times in a row, it was all heel.
Yeah.
But either way, I was happy because I don't like Becky Lynch at all. I think her vocal ability hinders her wrestling ability. So that's just me. I can't help she's got an accent. This is when you need a manager. I'm just saying, she's a great freaking wrestler, but her vocal hinder. Every time she opens her mouth, it makes me want to smack myself in the dick with a shovel.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, really, she's just so terrible. She looks good. As long she's like Taylor Swift. She's only hot when her mouth is closed.
Absolutely.
That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
And then of course.
Yeah, I was happy.
So you were happy?
Yes, I was happy that Alexa Bliss won. Moving on.
And then there's the main event, the TLC match, AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose.
So I'm sitting at the house, and I'm way far behind Vinny in this. So Vinny's already, farther ahead than I am. And I look on Facebook, and I see #ScrappyDoo goes heel. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, there's no fucking way. And I'll be damned if old ScrappyDoo didn't lose his damn mind. And I'm mad at him right now for that. And if you don't get why I'm mad at him, then you've never met this guy. There ain't a damn violent bone in his body. There ain't a mean bone in that man's body. So something's wrong with old ScrappyDoo right now. Either that or maybe his balls dropped and he finally got a pair of tests. I don't know. It happens when puberty hits.
Pretty much, yeah. It's that can tend to happen a lot. But
yeah, it will happen when puberty hits. Yes.
I will say this: it definitely brought shock value to the end of a pay-per-view that was pretty much on its last dying breath.
Nobody thought that was going to happen. I couldn't have predicted that. Okay, I didn't think that was going to happen. So bravo WWE, you caught me off guard. Normally you don't do that. Normally you don't do it. But you did it today. You did it last night. Bravo. Bravo.
Absolutely. It was great. It was a very good booking.
Nobody in the prediction challenge had that at all. Nobody had AJ would win via heel turn ScrappyDoo.
Yeah, I predicted AJ was going to win, but I didn't think he would win that way. I was surprised to see.
No, nobody did. And when ScrappyDoo was asked about it on Talking Smack Special Edition TLC, he said, and I quote, you see, I did not actually want to praise Dean Ambrose because I knew I hadn't beaten Dean Ambrose, which I had beat, but I had beaten AJ Styles. So I helped AJ so he could keep the title, so I could win the title, so then I could give Dean his title shot. ScrappyDoo was just talking all kinds of nonsense, like when the kid, as a kid, when your mama tells you don't get a cookie, and you go and get a cookie, and then she says, hey, did you get a cookie? And you're like, no, and then there's crumbs on your face. That's about what that was. There was no going back. There was no going back. It was just that moment of like, Scrappy damn Doo.
I know, it's insane.
It is. It is. Nobody saw that happening. And most of the time I don't get shocked by a WWE. Well, I shouldn't say I don't get shocked. I get pissed off easily, but I don't get that moment of, holy shit, I did not see that coming at all from WWE, because most of the time it's pretty damn predictable. But not last night, because nobody saw that coming. If you saw that coming, you're a damn lie, because nobody saw that coming.
No, I did not expect a weird, bizarre, non-heel turn from James Ellsworth, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when he faces Styles for the world title.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And I'm going to tell you right now, if he wins tomorrow night, do know Gator Ricky Ross will be on the Boochcast in the next couple days, happy as shit, celebrating, drinking fucking beer. We're gonna be doing it up. We're gonna have the ScrappyDoo homecoming celebration.
Oh yeah, and it's actually kind of funny and ironic because I've compared James Ellsworth to ScrappyDoo, and the last time ScrappyDoo was featured was in the first Scooby-Doo movie, and Scrappy was the villain. So to see ScrappyDoo turn heel is kind of funny to me.
Oh, it was very fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When he did that, I'm sitting there going, "Oh shit!" I was watching it at home on the TV. I'm sitting there watching it at home on the TV, and every everybody else in the house downstairs. I'm upstairs in my room watching on the TV because, I got no light. And it was a moment of first off, the police got called on me because apparently I was it sounded like I was filming gay porn, but it wasn't. It was just me going, "Oh shit, damn it!"
Yes, absolutely. And so we'll see what happens on SmackDown Live. That'll wrap up the TLC recap. Now I got a couple stories here. We got some wrestling, we got some wrestling stories, some non-wrestling stories, and we're gonna jump into those right now. And I'm gonna talk about this one first. I'm kind of rearranging a couple of these around. And the first one I want to address is because I found out about it and I thought it was great. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the article, and then after I'm done reading the article, then we can share thoughts. But basically it's here, John Cena hosting Saturday Night Live. This is big.
Oh, fucking God. No, comedy is dead.
John Cena will be hosting Saturday Night Live this Saturday, December 10th. The musical guest for the show will be Maren Morris. The 15-time world champion is currently away from WWE television, and in additional news, just signed on to co-star in another comedy movie. So it shows here.
No.
It shows here. It was tweeted out by Saturday Night Live. It says here that this past Saturday, the host was Emma Stone, and the special guest was Shawn Mendes. And now this Saturday, it shows John Cena as the host and Maren Morris as the musical guest. And December 17th, which will be next. What?
Who the hell is Maren Morris?
I have no idea. It's a singer.
Okay, I was just wondering if everybody else is thinking the same thing I was. Go ahead.
Okay, it's a singer because the musical guest is underneath the host. And next Saturday, the host will be Casey Affleck, and the musical guest will be Chance the Rapper. So that's the schedule for Saturday Night Live. And the ironic part is Casey Affleck, who will be guest hosting the following week, is the co-host that John Cena will be working with in the next movie.
Lord Jesus.
Yes.
Is that end of excerpt? Is that end of article?
Almost. I'm trying to check some things here. Yeah, it says that, Affleck, so Casey Affleck and John Cena are set to co-star in a comedy movie. It's not telling me what the name of the movie is. It says here that Cena has been in Daddy's Home, Sisters, and Trainwreck, along with upcoming features The Pact and The Wall. And he hosts American Grit and has co-hosted the Today Show multiple times. So John Cena is in a new comedy movie and will now co-star with Casey Affleck in a movie and is hosting Saturday Night Live this Saturday. End of article.
Okay. Let me just start by saying this. Why, God, why did we think it would be a good idea to put somebody who is the epitome of not funny in something that is funny?
Well, I think it's because John Cena has, in fact, even though your personal preference is he's not funny, he's gotten rave reviews for the comedy cameo roles that he's done.
You know why he got them? Because somebody else wrote his fucking line.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
That's.
Go ahead.
You can say that about any actor. You get paid to act what other people get paid to write.
No. Adam Sandler.
Okay, that's totally different.
Mel Brooks.
Okay, there are exceptions to the rule because they make their own movies. The point is, when you're an actor in a movie, if you're not part of the writing team, then you're being paid to act what someone else is being paid to write.
Yes, but it also helps when you have talent.
Well, yeah, and the thing is this. Anybody can write something down on a piece of paper. You still have to deliver the line to make it funny.
You got to make it come alive.
And that's what Cena does.
No, he doesn't. Hey, you know what he's made come alive? A lot of females' vaginas. He's made them come alive, and the only reason he's made them come alive is because he's fucking muscular and he takes steroids.
Okay, come on. Okay, there's no evidence to show he's taking steroids except people looking at his body and thinking that's enough.
He is taking steroids. By the way, this segment is brought to you by Bear Aspirin because we don't support steroids. Give me my fucking money.
Yes, and of course, it's also interesting because John Cena, I think, is going to be either the second or third wrestler to host Saturday Night Live. Did Hulk Hogan ever host Saturday Night Live?
I think he did. I wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Why Dolph Ziggler has not hosted it, I don't know.
Because he's not a mainstream star. He's just in wrestling.
Well, fuck him.
See, like for example, Hulk Hogan crossed over into the mainstream. And I think it was him and Mr. T both hosted the show together. So,
at The Rock.
And then The Rock hosted Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, but The Rock is a decent, is an actor. Okay, The Rock can do Shakespeare. Okay, The Rock is an all-purpose motherfucker about like Ricky Rock did. See, I do comedy, I do wrestling, and on occasion, I'll sing you a song. By the way, this segment is brought to you by Gator Ricky Rock. New album, the shit coming out soon. I would say give me my fucking money, but I'm the one supporting that one, so I can't give myself money.
Well, and also you have to wait till the album comes out before people can give you your money for it.
Oh, well, when it comes out, give me my fucking money.
Okay. And
anyway, that's a bad idea. Cena on Saturday Night Live is about the greatest idea as a Ron Jeremy daycare center. Okay, that's about how good that idea is. Okay, Cena on Saturday Night Live is about as good as a Ron Jeremy daycare center.
Okay. This is one of the rare moments of the show where Gator and I are going to agree to disagree because I feel that, first of all, I'm going to wait till Saturday Night Live before I judge anything. But the one thing about Cena that's always been a constant is his ability to entertain. Like, he was good at that before he got good at the wrestling.
Who was he entertaining?
The WWE Universe. When he was thugonomics, when he was cutting promos, when he disses people, when he did... Yeah, I mean, come on. Cena's one of the best promo guys in WWE. That was his strong point, always.
Yes, he is. He is one of the best promo guys in WWE. But here's the thing about Cena's promos. He didn't write any of them. And I don't really call those promos either because a promo is what is done when you go off the cuff. Like The Rock did, and Stone Cold did, and Triple H did, and all the other guys from the 90s did. Nowadays, all the Cena shit was pre-written for him. AKA scripted, AKA Al Snow, AKA fuck you, John Cena.
Alrighty. Last time I checked, his promos weren't written for him, but I'm not gonna argue that. Anyway,
some of them were written for him, actually, believe it or not. Last time I looked, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, because for the most part, Cena gets a lot of creative freedom with his promos because he's good on the mic. Like, you understand, a lot of wrestlers in WWE have their promo scripted for them because they can't talk worse shit.
Sorry, Roman.
That's what I'm saying. That's the big thing about that. But and like if Roman Reigns was hosting Saturday Night Live, I'd be fucking scared right now. But with Cena, I think they're in good hands. Yeah. All right. And on that note, we're gonna move on to the next topic here. Now we're gonna leave wrestling for a second here, and we're gonna go into some news. This is an intriguing one. This teen says she got fired from her job over a tweet before she even started. And this is just a life lesson that I think people can learn from this. This was written by Alan White at BuzzFeed. There's a Twitter user named Cella or Cella. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's Cella. So it could be Cella, could be Cella, however the fuck she wants to pronounce it.
And nobody cares.
And she writes on Twitter, "Ew, I start this fuck-ass job tomorrow," and a bunch of thumbs down. And apparently, she was about to start a job she doesn't want to do, which is working at a pizzeria.
Hey, pizza baby.
Yeah. It's like the girl didn't want no pizza, baby. And then, except the next day, she wasn't. She wrote, "I got fired" over Twitter. And here's what happened.
Hey, Vinny.
Yes?
That joke was brought to you by Papa John. Give us our fucking money.
Absolutely. And here's what happened. So the gentleman's name is Robert Waple, who runs the pizzeria. He runs the Pizza Baby. And he says his response to, "Ew, I start this fuck-ass job tomorrow," his reply to that tweet was, "And no, you don't. You don't start that FA job today. I just fired you. Good luck with your no money, no job life." Now,
I stand behind this.
Now,
to the side note.
yes. Now, at first, people were wondering if that was really him. And Robert said, "Yes, I'm really the boss. One of my workers sent me a pic of her tweet. I haven't used my account for a long time, but I did today." So, yeah. And then the boss follows up by saying, "Working the register, taking phone orders, making sub salads, eating free pizza. How hard would that have been?"
Damn. Wait a minute. Where is this place?
I don't know where it is. It's not telling me.
I don't know. But if y'all are listening, my number is 555-492-3333. Call me. I will gladly eat your free pizza and take that job.
Yeah. Pizza, baby. Maybe I can be their spokesman. But it says here she doesn't seem too upset about it because she's self-entitled. And some people, and this is what one person wrote, and it was at Bit the Big Apple, was apparently this Twitter handle. And here's what it's saying here is that you were exercising your freedom of speech and never mentioned the company name, so you got fired for no reason. Contact HR ASAP. Okay, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I'm going to call HR and say, "I was fired unjustly. What did you do?" "I said I had a fuck-ass job on Twitter." Click.
Because that's going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And this is a thing. It's weird because the reason I'm bringing this up is because one of the lessons that people have to learn, and I've had to learn it not by saying anything dumb like this, by just there's things I used to post on Twitter. I used to post a lot of stuff on Twitter. I don't do that much anymore because I learned lessons. Is that
the vibrator, bro?
Yeah, is that people don't understand that when that social media is supposed to be a bastion of freedom of expression, and it used to be. It used to be where you spoke your mind. Now it's the place where your life can get fucked because now jobs, colleges, different places, they check your social media. So if you say something negative about something, or if you got an attitude on social media about stuff, it can affect who you like. That's why, you'll notice on my Facebook, I don't post a lot of political shit. Why? Didn't want to fuck up job opportunities. Eventually, though, I started coming out a little bit more and being more comfortable. But yeah, this lady just, now granted, she fucked up her chance to work at a pizzeria. If she can delete this tweet, but now that it's out there for everyone to see, she either has to get a whole new Twitter page or she's going to be unemployed for a long-ass time.
I'm just going to say this, okay? I stand behind this completely. And if the dude wants a little bit of backbone, I will gladly be your public relations specialist if you would like me to. I'll gladly be PR. I'm down with that. What are you doing? Hey, look, it's Gator. He's with Human Resources. So, because I am human and my fists are my resources.
Yes. Anybody with two hands has a fighting chance to make pizza.
Yes. Quoted Scrappy Juice. Yes.
And in other news...
No, but hey, wait a minute. But seriously though, kid, listen to your Uncle Gator now. Come close to the radio. Okay? Watch what you freaking put on the damn social media. Okay? You don't want to be that guy, 55 years old, ain't ever been laid, sitting there because you can't get a job, can't get a car, ain't got a license, because you put up there on Facebook, John Cena sucks, and 15 million people saw it, and now you're infamous. You can't do that. You can't put pictures of yourself up there butt naked on the damn TV. On the damn computer. You can't do that. Don't put naked drunk selfies on the computer. Nobody wants to see your hairy ass.
It ain't good. Yeah.
No, it ain't good. And I ain't joking either. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's true.
No one wants to see your hairy ass.
Yes. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next piece of information here. We're going to jump back to the wrestling. This is something big, just got posted today. Tajiri announces WWE return. Tajiri announced on Twitter that he'll be returning to WWE in the spring of 2017. He tweeted the following and mentioned...
He announced it on Twitter. He said, "Hello, everybody. I am Tajiri, and I shall return to the fucking WWE."
Yes. Well, he wrote it in Japanese, on Twitter, but it kind of just looks like a recipe for homemade oatmeal raisin cookies.
Who just said what now? Homemade what?
They look like homemade oatmeal raisin cookies, like a cookie recipe. The way this is all typed up and shit.
Oh. Well, that's the way, because remember they write in that haiku style in Japan, so you got to have your syllables.
Yeah.
Syllogism.
So he tweeted that, and he mentioned meeting with William Regal in Osaka, Japan, over the weekend while they were doing an NXT live event. Tajiri worked that show, teaming with Tozawa in a losing effort against the NXT Tag Team Champions DIY.
Yes. By the way, if anybody didn't already know, Shinsuke Nakamura won back the NXT title in Japan.
Yes, he did. He won back the NXT championship. So that probably means some either they're going to have a rematch at the next TakeOver, which will be in January, the night before the Royal Rumble, or they might just end the rivalry and call Joe up for the Rumble itself, or both.
Now, what's going to happen is we're going to see another cage match because NXT likes to repeat itself. So, because notice they did the same thing with Joe when Joe won the title the first time.
True. The only difference is with this match, they're trading the belt back and forth.
To an extent, but see, there's a good possibility, though, if this goes down to a cage match or street fight or a ladder match or whatever the hell, there's a good possibility that Nakamura hangs on to it and Joe goes up. Because that's what happened with Mr. Balor.
Yeah.
Joe hung on to it and Balor went up.
Yeah. And Triple H, of course, has congratulated Nakamura, and he said the match will air this coming Wednesday on NXT. So they're going to air the match on NXT.
No, they're not. They're going to do freaking clips and pictures again like they did last time. They said a match is going to air on TV in its entirety, and it never fucking happened.
Okay. I'm just saying what the article says. So that's what's going down with that.
I know. I'm just saying. Okay. They said that before, and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So absolutely. And Tajiri, of course, is back in, and Tajiri, of course, is coming back, which I think is great, especially if he's going to be working in NXT, because Tajiri's always been a great talent. So I have no objection to seeing him come back. I missed him while he was gone.
I got one objection.
Yeah?
But it's not one that I got one, but I don't think, and I think you might actually agree with me on this. I would rather see him on 205 Live than I would NXT.
You think he should be in the Cruiserweight division?
90 seconds.
Yes, I do. Because he was in the tournament, he should be in the Cruiserweight division.
I agree. In that case, that makes perfect sense.
So,
I can go with that.
Yeah. I mean, and if you want to keep him, in both the Cruiserweight division and use him on NXT, so like you've been doing Cedric and Grand Metalik and some of the other dudes, do it. It's cool. Do you, boo-boo. Nobody cares. I'm just saying he'd be real good on the damn he'd be real good on the Cruiserweight division.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he would do great. I think the Cruiserweight division would definitely be the right fit for him. And I could potentially see it. Like I said, I have no objections to that. So I think it would be great. And
yeah, I got no problem.
Oh yeah, me neither. And all right, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will wrap up this episode of the Boochcast for today. So I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in live. I want to thank everybody listening to the archives. Gator, of course, thank you so much, man, for joining me on the show. Sorry, Blog Talk Radio messed you up for most of it, but at least we got to get your thoughts on TLC out there. And we'll be back. You know what? We'll be back on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. West Coast time, with a brand new episode of the Boochcast. And we'll be doing Monday Night Raw.
Wait a minute. By we, you mean me, right? And you.
Yeah, if you want to be there.
Oh. Okay, I'll be there, and my parents will be brought to you by Pizza Hut Pizza because we don't discriminate. Give me my fucking money.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'm saying we're gonna return on Wednesday. We'll do a show, and we're gonna do the recap of Monday Night Raw. We'll be doing SmackDown Live, and yes, we'll be doing Raw and SmackDown on Wednesday, and that's the goal. And then Friday we'll do Lucha, NXT, and TNA.
Sounds good to me. Sounds real good to me. This should be fun. Not to mention all the shenaniganery that'll probably be going on because you don't know who I'll be pissed at tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday or whenever.
Absolutely. And of course, in addition to all that, don't forget that also on Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m., I will be performing once again at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I'll be back again. The club is located at 4650 Jimmy Carter Boulevard, Norcross, Georgia, 30093. Make sure you guys come out. And, of course, there's free admission, but you have to send me your name, first and last. And you have to send it.
Gator, Richard Ross, guest.
Yes. And, of course, the admission is free as long as I got your name and I can send it to the club and put you down on the guest list. Otherwise, you have to pay, I think, $10 to get in. If your name's not on the guest list, so you have to. It's not bad. Yes, but you have to let me know that you're coming. So you can go to either the Boochcast Facebook page, facebook.com/the Boochcast, THEBOOCHCAST. Also, make sure you guys go to my personal Facebook page, facebook.com/Vince Bucci, VINCEBUCCI. Make sure you guys go there, message me your name. If you got guests, let me know the guest names. I can put them on the guest list, and you guys can come out and enjoy an awesome show. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday night. Now, before we go, Gator, can you give us information on where people can find those shirts you were talking about earlier?
Oh, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Alzar. If anything, go to the Ugly Ducklings Facebook page on Facebook and go on there. And you'll see a picture of the shirt you're ordering. It says Happy Ducking Holiday. And it's got a picture of all three of the ducks and everybody up there. And all the proceeds go to helping out our brother up there. I'm not going to say his name because he is a well-known ROH competitor and a second-generation superstar. So I'm not going to say his name. If you go up there, you can read more about what's going on, and you can. They're not going to tell you specifically what's going on, but they will tell you who it is. Vinny probably already knows who I'm talking about.
I just figured it out.
What'd you do? Look it up there?
I typed in the Ugly Ducklings Facebook page and saw the list of names and went, "Yep, I know who it is."
Yeah. I don't want to do that to him, so I'm not gonna mention his name. He is, like I said, he is a second generation. He might be a third generation. No, he's a second generation. I don't know if his grandfather was a wrestler either. I don't know, but I know he's at least a second generation wrestler.
Okay.
So you know who his dad is. You can figure it out by the last name. But yeah, his father is an ex-ECW wrestler, an ROH commentator, so that kind of gives it away right there. But either way, just know that 100% of that money done, donated and getting a T-shirt, buying a T-shirt goes back to the family to help them out with their issue. And like I said, I don't really want to put out every issue that's going on. Vinny, if you want to message me privately or something, I'll tell you what's going on later. But like I said, if anybody wants to help out, it's a cool shirt. It's just in time for the Christmas season, the holiday season. Vinny's looking at it. Vinny, what do you think of the design?
It's awesome. I like it. It's got they're dressed as Christmas elves. It's got the wreath surrounding them, and there's a dead Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome design. They kind of whipped it up real quick yesterday. To try to help a brother out. So #DucksFlyTogether. And if you got a little extra money and you want to help out a good cause,
Holy shit!
You want to help out a good man. What? Did you just Google his name?
No, I didn't Google his name. I looked at their Facebook page, and it says here they're holding a wrestling event on December 18th in North Carolina. It's called Seasons Duck Lettings, and it's got a list of wrestlers, and it's saying #fixed Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
Wait, so Matt Hardy's going to be competing, but he's not going to be the broken deletion, premonition, seven deities.
He will be broken. The thing is they're saying #fix Matt Hardy because the whole storyline is they want to beat his ass to see if they can fix it.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah, that's the way that is. I forget what company that is, this performance that's doing that show, and I don't know if any of the proceeds are going to our brother. Like I said, I'm not going to say his name. But you know, just know that stuff happens. I'll tell you straight up, ladies and gentlemen, the wrestling business is a cruel business, and you got to be careful with what you do with it. You don't let you want to control it, not let it control you. And our brother got, he let it control him, and but he's coming back. He's coming back around. He's got all the support in the world, the wrestling community. This is why I love the wrestling community. Nobody's putting this guy down. You can see all the love on Facebook. Nobody's putting this guy down. If you want to type in his name, Vinny, you'll see all the love. If you want to type in his name on Facebook.
I hear you.
You'll see all the love. There's a lot of love being poured out for him and his girlfriend and everybody else. So, and his partners also as well. But there's a lot of love being poured out for this guy, and least I could do is mention it here. So if you want to buy one, hit up the boys on the Ugly Duckling page. They'll point you where to go with PayPal and everything. They might have a couple at their next couple shows. So if you're in the neighborhood where you see the Ducks, stop by, grab a T-shirt. That specific one to help their buddy out. And all I can say is happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It's not often on this show that I'm speechless, that I don't know what to say. But I'll tell you right now, I don't know what to say. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not often. Vinny's sitting there going, holy shit, Gator don't know what to say? Damn.
All right. Well,
I know.
All right. Well, I was going to say, go to the Ugly Ducklings Facebook page, facebook.com/The Ugly Ducklings, TheUGlyDucklings, Ducklings, and pick up a T-shirt. It's got the T-shirts right there. It's the top post. Check it out and help out their fallen buddy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll officially wrap up this episode of the Boochcast for today. So thank you all so much for tuning in live. Thank you guys listening to the archives. Gator and I will talk to you on Wednesday. We'll be here at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. West Coast time. Like I said, we'll be recapping Monday Night Raw. We'll be recapping SmackDown Live. If we got time left over, we'll get into some of the articles we didn't get to today. And we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. So until next time, this is Vinny.
Vinny?
Yeah?
Can I hit one before you hit your Vinny and Gator, do your deal?
Yeah.
Okay. # Ducks Fly Together. Much love, much respect. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yes. So until next time, this is Vinny and Gator saying keep on living life and take care. This has been the Boochcast. We'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday right here on Blog Talk Radio and on YouTube.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.